Thank you, Mr. Boni. Dear colleagues, really a pleasure to be here, also on behalf of my Commissioner, Commissioner Gabriel, who would have liked actually to be with us today, but it's indeed a very active week also at the European Commission. It's a college day today, as you may know. I'll try to be brief so that indeed we have the necessary time first for our other speakers, but also for a quite active, hopefully, session of questions and answers. And I know that usually this is how the breakfast organized by our dear MEPs look like, active, interactive exchanges on what really matters. And Mr. Boni just put some of the most relevant questions that we've been trying also with my commissioner to consider and look at this very first for her participation indeed at the IGF forum last December in Geneva. This first participation certainly demonstrated also our strong and permanent, I would say, consistent commitment from the side of the European Commission, and I have some colleagues here, to this multi-stakeholder model for internet governance. We have consistently also shown this support, of course, to open, free, transparent, inclusive internet. And this is what, again, the Commissioner has been reiterating as main message last December in Geneva. That was, by the way, and I think Mr. Boni and the other honorable members present in Geneva would agree with me, that was also the main message in the joint statement that we issued last December. Now, indeed, in this first participation of Commissioner Gabriel, it was actually an active one because we covered a lot of events, a lot of sessions at IGF, but also had a couple of very interesting bilateral meetings with ICANN, with ITU, ANGA, ISOCET, and other interlocutors, including, of course, international partners such as the United States, Japan, and others. I think we try to be as transparent as possible to the extent that her speeches are online and the main messages are there. Hence, I would just get back to only a few of the points that we wanted to clearly convey for the way we see IGF at this stage, but also some possible ideas for the future. Using this indeed occasion of the IGF to gain an even sort of deeper understanding of the substantive challenges that we have in front of us in internet governance, starting, by the way, with the IGF itself. So, as Mr. Boni just put it, indeed, IGF has now reached the 12th edition. We have the mandate until 2025. It's also undergoing a number of important changes. For example, we have the renewal of the multi-stakeholder advisory group chair and members, which is underway, as well as important internal reflection on its role, on its mandate, functions, and future sustainability. This is certainly a complex process, considering the number and the nature of the changes that the internet itself has gone through in the last 12 years. We see indeed the whole internet ecosystem being shook to its very core by some forces, such as, and that was, by the way, the interesting topic, certainly not the only one, but one of the interesting topics in Geneva, since the FCC decision on net neutrality has come just 1 or 2 days before, right? So, of course, the whole debate on net neutrality, the effect of heightened cybersecurity risks on the way that the internet is viewed by the governments. That could certainly lead, and we see that as risk, to fragmentation, to further fragmentation, maybe I should say, and polarization, and ultimately change the internet as we know it today. So we consider certainly that the European Commission has a crucial role to play in this process. First, of course, with a strong support to the IGF, both financially, by also actively participating in its working groups. Mr. Boni just mentioned, indeed, there is still some concern that there is no, at least officially confirmed, hosting country for the 2018 edition of the IGF. Hence, this still sort of raises the question of the IGF future sustainability. At the same time, we clearly recognize the crucial role of the IGF in raising awareness among different users communities, and this is what we experienced also in Geneva in talking to some of those, as well as in capacity building. Through the IGF, Individual citizens, civil society have been empowered to express their views on different issues and bring the attention of the private sector, of the policymakers on specific topics, making the internet governance debate in general and the IGF in particular the only forum where this multi-stakeholder model has been indeed truly achieved, and we stick to this position. Now, looking forward, the multi-stakeholder model will need to adapt to the fast-changing environment that again Mr. Boni referred to in his introduction, in order to certainly deliver in a more effective, in a more efficient way. This could be done by probably focusing the debate on fewer selected topics per year and taking stock of the national and the regional IGF initiatives by using them probably more actively. In this future-oriented vision, the IGF will be more crucial than ever, especially in its role of raising awareness in the user communities. Well-informed users are in fact empowered users. Obviously, I make this statement here also in the context of the quite active work we are leading now on fake news. We can talk about that later. Users that are in control of their personal data and their activities over the internet. Here, of course, I want to touch a little bit on the GDPR future implementation, also our work in parallel on e-privacy. Users that build their own digital landscape and are ultimately at the core of the human-centric Internet of Values that the European Commission envisions for our joint future. In this effort, national, I mentioned it already, and regional IGFs, including Eurodic, and I'm very happy to announce formally now that our commissioner is going to attend, of course, Eurodic in June this year. The European IGF will have a greater role to play. We certainly believe in that by settling some best practices in the local communities, informing users, and supporting a number of grassroots initiatives that will ensure the effectiveness and sustainability of this multi-stakeholder model. So in brief, and I really am looking forward to this discussion, this is the sort of a vision the Commissioner wants to put into practice over the next year, with the help, of course, of the European Parliament, all the honorable members present here, and the stakeholders present in the EIF. Thank you for your attention, and I'm really looking forward to a very active discussion in a few minutes. Thank you.